Once you grasp this truth that I'm about to tell you, it'll set you free from religion. It'll set you free from parents and moms and family and governments and police, everybody. It'll set you free. And it's simply this: you are divine. God has exploded in a Crab Nebulae explosion, and he has come and manifested himself as billions of people. And you're one of you, and so am I. When I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. That's why God's name is I am. I am God. It doesn't mean that me, God. It means I am. When you say I am God, you have to say, what is God's name? I am. What? I am God. Oh my God, then all people, Christians run around, oh, I told you they think they're God. I don't think anything on the side. No, Jesus Christ said, the scripture says you are God, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he said it.
Yeah, like I'm not third album.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be discussing Uranus and Taurus going direct. It went direct on the 26th, and I'm going to do it like I did Saturn and Neptune, where I kind of just go over the themes that come with this. But if you want more in-depth information of what can be happening at this time, it's everything that I talked about back in July and the eclipses, the last eclipses that we had for Aries and Libra, because we could see a lot of that stuff being played out right now as Uranus has gone direct. It's awakened all that stuff that's kind of been dormant in retrograde, and maybe feeling like things in that area of your life, which is your Taurus area of life, have not been moving forward, haven't been going well, might have even felt cloudy, unsure about. Now these things are going to start to play out, and they'll start to play out through to September. And then we'll see more pieces of this kind of coming together. So it's going to be a little erratic for a while, from now until September for sure. Which is how it typically is, by the way. We'll get some slowdown with the Mercury retrograde, but for the most part, we're pretty in full steam ahead energy. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, and we are in Aquarius season and having a stellium in Aquarius, this is really going to start rattling and shaking and rolling. So get grounded, family. Don't let this rattle your cage. Go with the punches, be flexible. Taurus is a fixed sign. It wants reliability and stability, beauty, harmony, fairness, justice, balance, and peace. It also rules our basic needs. And so a lot of this is going to be about how to incorporate our basic needs and wants with this new Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius energy coming in, this new you coming in. I think for the next week, it's going to be pretty low key until the middle of next week, where pretty much the shift is going to hit the fan for sure. And so you'll see this, and it's going to be like day by day, everything's going to just start building, I think, after Wednesday or right about Wednesday evening. But just remember in the back of your mind that these things are really trying to help us break free from something old, stagnant, and something that doesn't really suit you anymore. And make the change. Be open to the change. Be accountable for the change. What have you asked for? What have you been manifesting? And knowing that no matter how it comes in or shows up, that's what this is really all about, is to get you to what you asked for to get you your manifestations. This is also your self-worth and self-value. This is what I want and need, that you will continue working towards to provide a stronger core. What kind of life is suitable for you that grounds you? Um, Manifest what you want, and how that builds throughout the years will be very important. So having some kind of structure and system is going to be important, something that you commit to. Um, this is also very determined, steadfast, dedicated energy that's going to help you stay in alignment with whatever goals you have. And finances is obviously going to be a really big theme, what you bring in, how much you save, how much you spend. Um, and this is going to reflect what you value. Um, Uranus has been shaking all of this stuff up. Uranus isn't just disruption, chaos, and liberation. It wants you to shake off anything that isn't authentically you. But because Taurus is a fixed sign, you might have been accepting things the way that they are, or saying, this is the way I've always done it. And assuming that this is something that's the way it's gonna be forever. But Uranus shakes things up and asks us, do we still need them? And that's hard, again, because Taurus wants comfort, no overwhelming change. But Uranus is going to help us break free so that we can be more conscious and intentional with what we want to manifest. This understanding is, again, going back to your budget. What goes out every month? What are you spending your money on? You might realize that you're paying for bills and you don't even use half of that stuff because you're at work most of the time. And so you might have to kind of measure, do I really need this in order to put money into your other or new goals and things that you're trying to accomplish? This could happen through unexpected job loss or changes that can cause the way you spend or save money. This could also be through a side hustle to make more money to pay bills, or maybe even learning how to network and socialize with Uranus on how to build your goals, getting out there, selling yourself, advertising, and things of that nature. Um, Maybe even asking friends and people in high places for support. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody. It's really important to know where your Taurus area of life is, because the house is going to give you more details on how this can be playing out. However, the really good thing about this is, again, this isn't new for us. We've had Uranus and Taurus for quite some time now. And so we know what this is. It's just been stagnant for a really long time. And so it could feel like that energy of, well, I thought I had asked for this, this, and that, but none of the things that I've asked for have been coming through or manifesting. But essentially, it was really just not the right time. And so now that Uranus is direct, it's the right time. And you might not be prepared for this because you sitting back like, well, it is what it is. And now you're going to have all this stuff come rushing in. And so these are the times where, if you get a coach, you tell people to build it and people will come, even if, you're not getting all the hype and all that stuff that you want. When it does come, you'll be, I won't say absolutely ready, because it's still going to be shocking and surprising and probably even a little overwhelming, because that's just the energy of Uranus. But essentially, you'll have all the pieces and you won't have to actually build it. So hopefully throughout this time, you've been building something and you have some things into place. And now it's just about switching things around, pivoting and moving with the energy and how things come in. Again, knowing when to say no, knowing when to say, well, let me check my schedule. I'm free on this time. Having a clear understanding of that is going to help you get through this a little bit easier. If you haven't been doing anything and you've just been kind of sitting around waiting for things to happen, you're going to have to do double the work. And that's not a good or a bad thing. It's just knowing how this shows up in the crazy, erratic ways that it can bring in um, change for you is going to probably be a little bit more harder. And so Uranus wants us to evolve and change. It wants breakthrough changes. Anything that held you back, the outdated ways of doing things, evaluating, observing, and going slow is going to be your best option. You might want more time to think things through, but Uranus says no, change now, ready or not. And so, again, it's going to be really shocking, kind of like a culture shock. Like, oh shit, like it's here, it's time to go. And so, Uranus has kind of been at the 19 degrees since July of 2020. And so we're kind of wrapping up that 19 degrees and moving into the more newer degrees as we move closer to September. And again, a lot of newer things are going to unfold, and that'll be the next 2.5 year cycle for you. So just keeping in mind that these things do happen in cycles, and just being able to deal with that and cope with that, I think helps. I don't think it's going to change anything, but it definitely helps bring some ease, like, oh, okay, this is why this is happening, so that makes more sense, and I hope that that's helpful for everybody. But just know that whatever you have been manifesting is coming, but it's going to be a little crazy for a little while. This could be where you haven't felt peace, closure, a shift to a new way of moving ahead, and the unthinkable, because Taurus is practical, realistic. How does this work? How can this be formed? How can we build it? These will be some of the things that you'll be asking yourself and working on throughout this time, with everything else coming in your Aquarius area of life. How much will it cost? Am I going to receive anything in return? This could be things like self-worth, self-love, what you have to offer, what are your unique gifts, and what do you bring to the table? Think bigger, essentially, is what Uranus is asking your Taurus area of life to do. Don't just think 9 to 5, ask for a raise, ask for a higher position. Think innovation, think outside the box. You know, um, Uranus does rule Aquarius, so whatever your Aquarius area of life now is bringing into you, these two are going to coincide together. The only thing I think Taurus is going to have the expectations of us when it comes to the Aquarius energy is to stay grounded and realistic. But I do think that, unfortunately, to do it the Aquarius way, things are going to have to get a little crazy. You might do it too big and too outside of the box and maybe a little unrealistic. I wouldn't worry about that. I use the same example when I talk about the retrogrades, is think of it as a trial period. Something that you are trying out to see what parts of these new things that are coming in for you, how they work for you, how they fit into your life, and is it what you really want, and is it really you? And so they'll not everything that you do is going to stay. Some of those things you're going to have to let go, which can look like failure. Do not see failure as failure. See failure as a trial period, so that you know what works, what doesn't work, what you're going to need for this new journey, new plan, new goals to work out for you. Yeah, so just know that there's going to be some things that aren't able to come with you, some friends that aren't able to come with you, some money habits that you won't be able to carry on with. If you want this, you're going to have some really, really awakening realizations like, damn, I can't buy that no more. It could even be what you're eating. Taurus is food, what you put in your mouth. And it's an earth sign, so it could be asking more healthier habits when it comes to your eating and your energy levels to even be able to do the work. Sleep is just as important, and eating is just as important as the actual goal. Because if you don't have nourishment, you don't have the energy to carry through with the goals. So just know that there are going to be a lot of sudden changes that you probably didn't see coming. People who are on the ball and really in tune with what they want and what they're asking for, you've seen this coming. You felt it. You felt it, and you knew eventually people, places, and things were going to fall apart simply because you're evolving. And that's just a part of life. I wouldn't see that as a failure either, but on a human level, it's going to affect us emotionally. I wouldn't fight those emotions. Go through your emotions, have your moment, but don't stay there. Um, and certainly don't drop your values for the sake of making somebody else feel comfortable, because that's the Libra and the South Node energy that we're also breaking free from. And um I want to say Saturn and Pisces can do that too. Um, Being so compassionate, giving, caring, and loving that you're not doing it enough for yourself. Um, yeah, I feel like I can say more about that, but I think you get the picture. Um, yeah. And so this could also be sovereignty. I think sovereignty on a global level is going to be a big, big deal. And all sovereignty is freedom. Freedom and sovereignty, same thing. But sovereignty on a universal level is more like law and legislation. Fighting against politics and whatever law and legislation they might be changing around money, finances that might deter your plans. And so we can see a lot of what we're kind of already seeing with the borders and other countries. They're doing a bunch of protesting and things like that. And I'll be talking more about that stuff later. I might do um a video on Texas. I'm gonna see if I can find Texas's chart. I don't know right off the tippity top of my head, but it might be worth talking about. However, what I will say is I did talk about a lot of this stuff when Pluto was in Capricorn. I'd done several videos talking about just the history of America and how we can see that now coming full circle and how that's going to change and transform into something new. However, what I do really want to say with Pluto being in Aquarius, I really don't see this being about politics changing in the best way for the people, because it doesn't keep them in power. And I think people may or may not know that, that it's going to be you. So you can control your home and how you run your politics in your home, what choices and decisions that you make in your home, how you're bringing your family together and the expectations that you have for your family, holding them accountable for that, holding them responsible for that, giving everybody a responsibility that they need to be held accountable for on a smaller level, maybe even some grassroots things. I need you to remember what Pluto and Capricorn taught you. If you forget that lesson, you'll start to feel like you're falling out of alignment. And it's probably because morally or ethically you're doing something that's outside of your control. I can't stress enough how much this is more so about you, because Aquarius rules the people. And I don't see that as the people fighting against the government to ask them to change something, because if they were going to change it, they would have changed it already. These people are very well aware of what this country needs and what they can do better. They don't want to do that. This is a reality. It's not a feeling, it's not an emotion. You've seen it time and 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 time again. And I think you are going to be out of alignment if you think that protesting and asking the government to change something for you is going to win. The only thing they're going to do to perhaps shut people up is pretend, and that's all they've ever done, is to pretend to make some kind of change. But that's just my personal opinion. Who knows? Maybe there's some hope for that. I just don't believe it. I don't. And I have to stand on that. I say make the changes within your home, within your circles, and within the people you choose to connect with in order to make those decisions within your life as opposed to anything else. Um anyway, I feel like I'm gonna get some backlash for that. But yeah. I also think this is going to be a slow build. This can bring opportunities, access to resources. This all these kind of um, pauses and stops and reflections and internal work that we've been asked to do with the retrograde has been happening to show you who you are, to show you that you're empowered in your gift, that you're going to love this new you, believe in the possibility, and that you can handle it. It's going to bring joy and more value, more of what's possible, and it's going to feel like it's coming right on time. Um, Yeah. And then you also have to look at Jupiter. Jupiter's also rules, I mean, Jupiter is also in Taurus. And so Jupiter has also just recently gone direct. I believe it was at the end of December. And so Jupiter's in full direct energy right now. And so from the end of December till now, with Uranus going direct, start to think about what else Jupiter and Taurus has been teaching you. This could be things like spiritual growth and protection, divine justice. If you are a Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, these changes are going to be big. If you're an earth sign, it will feel like more like a welcome change that helps you feel free. And for Cancer and Pisces, you might have been in an illusion or delusion or thinking things maybe a little unrealistically, but now it's going to feel like it's not a dream, it's real. And it's going to be very, very fast movement with this energy. Up until April 1st, which is when I think we have our first retrograde. Yeah. So overall, I really, 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 really do like this energy. I do think that it's gonna bring a lot of peace and blessings for people who have been doing the work. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for the legislations and laws changing. Um, and something positive coming out of that. Um, but I'm really not that optimistic. Maybe I need that's something I need to work on, changing my perspective on, but I'm just really going by history, you know? And I feel like as the people, if we're being asked to take control, why would we need to ask the government for help anyway? When we can do smaller things on our own within our communities and within our families. And then, hopefully spread that out a little bit more bigger as we all grow more on the same page. I think we have a lot of healing to do as people, And until we do that process, it's going to be harder to even understand that concept. But I do think that a lot of these shaken up and awakenings and rattles and rolls and earthquakes that Uranus is undoubtedly getting ready to bring into your life, these will bring that necessary enlightenment. Like, shit, I really do need to heal because I am dope and I am worth it. And that'll be the start to something bigger and greater. But I really think that it starts with us. That's again just my personal opinion, but as usual, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.